Okay guys, I am here with my TNA Impact March 29th, 2012 review. Man, this was a pretty bad show. A lot of talking. Now, typically, that wouldn't be such a bad thing if the promos and the talking, if it's good. But here, it wasn't good, and this was just a really bad impact overall, I thought. Just my opinion, but I didn't find this an entertaining show. There wasn't anything I really liked about this one. So I'm just going to get right to it. They recap Hogan getting asked to be general manager from last week. Bobby Roode comes out. He's got some police escorts with him. He says, to all those emailing and Facebooking that he should be fired, they can kiss his world title ass. Impact is nothing without him. He destroyed Sting physically and mentally. He won the fight and won the war when Sting stepped down as general manager. He's better than Sting ever was. He tells Dixie she got hers and she keep her nose out of his business, and no one's going to stop him. Last week his lawyer said he didn't need to be here. He only has to show up for lockdown. This is a hostile working environment, which is why he has the cops, but they're for Storm's protection, not his. He says that he's better than Storm and will prove it at lockdown. He doesn't need luck. Storm comes out. Roode hides behind the cops. Storm says that Roode's not a man and calls the guys mall cops. He says he's not here to steal a t-shirt. He's here to beat the crap out of Roode. Bully attacks him from behind. Storm hits Bully, and he goes flying out of the ring. He goes for the super kick, but the cops get in the way, and Roode runs. Storm challenges both Bully and Roode for tonight, and Roode and Bully agree to a 2-on-1 match. Then we see Gail Kim backstage giving a present to Madison Rayne. It's a tiara. She tells her she will always be the queen, and she says Madison will beat the crap out of Velvet Sky. So that entire angle, no one turned face. They're both still heels. Madison left and challenged Gail, and they had kind of a fight for a couple weeks, but nothing came of it. Now they're friends again, so it was all pointless. Christy Hemme is announcing from the crowd. I don't know why. Madison Rayne versus Velvet Sky. Velvet hits a double underhook facebuster for the win. Christy asks Velvet after the match what's next for her, and she says that Gail never gave her a rematch for the title, so she's coming for Gail. Then we have Bully, Ray, and Roode arguing backstage. Bully says he's tired of Storm, and he beat Kaz and Daniels, but they're not Kaz and Daniels. They're Bully Ray and Bobby Roode, the world champion, so he basically just buried those two guys for no reason. Then we see Dixie and Hulk Hogan earlier today. Oh man. Let's see how I can get through this. Dixie says she didn't think she would be asking Hogan to be general manager after what happened last year. He said it's not all Eric's fault. Some of it's his fault. And he says in those 2 years we did a lot of bad stuff. We did some good stuff too. What? Dixie says that Sting believes it's the true Hogan. She needs the true Hogan. Hogan says when he saw the path Eric was going down, he couldn't do it. Hogan says he's at peace, but Dixie says, I'm not at peace because you destroyed my company. Well, she didn't say that, but she's not at peace because you destroyed her company. And if Hogan's at peace, then he needs to come back and fix what he messed up. Hogan says that, I don't know, TNA's got a dark cloud hanging over it. This Bobby Roode thing, it's bad. Dixie says that Sting isn't going to be general manager and Hogan needs to fix this. Hogan says he'll think about it. Dixie asks him to come to Impact. He says he'll give her an answer at Impact tonight. This was a long promo about nothing. Is there anybody who believed that Hogan was going to say no to being general manager? Honestly, this was a long setup to nothing and meant nothing, and they act like this is some big deal. Sting as general manager wasn't a big deal. So then they show a recap of Crimson's screwing Matt Morgan. Then we see Kurt Angle. He He says he won't give Hardy a rematch at Lockdown because Jeff Hardy's a crybaby. He says that if Hardy can beat Mr. Anderson tonight, he'll give him something else to cry about at Lockdown. Austin Aries comes out. A lot of talking on this show. Says there's no competition for him, but he's got a problem with Bully Ray. Says Bully is a prick, but he had to be embarrassed that Storm beat him in 2 minutes of Victory Road, and he tried to take out his anger on Austin Aries during his match last week. He says he's the greatest man who ever lived, and now we have a problem. He says he's not the biggest guy, but his balls are as big as Bully's calves. He says that he tells the truth like James Storm, and he respects James Storm. And he asked if he can fight by his side tonight against Bully and Bobby Roode. So Austin Aries pretty much just turned babyface here, and I guess it's okay. He's pretty good no matter what he does. I would prefer him to stay heel because I think he's just a natural heel and he's just so good at that. But I mean, I guess it's okay if he turns face, and hopefully it'll help push him further in the company. So then we get Matt Morgan versus Crimson. They cut to commercial after Matt Morgan comes out. When they come back, Crimson didn't even get an entrance. These guys have horrible tattoos. I cannot be the only one who thinks this. These guys have just bad tattoos all over their bodies. It's what I was thinking about the entire time. Basically, both guys get counted out here, and Crimson takes a back body drop on the ramp. They keep fighting, and then they just fight out the exit door. They're just going to build to these guys facing each other at Lockdown, and that's fine, and I thought this was fine. We see Joe Parks, a.k.a. Abyss, talking to the production staff backstage about Abyss, and they haven't seen anything. Then we have Jeff Hardy versus Mr. Anderson. Jeff Hardy comes out doing that zombie walk with the painted eyes on his face. The man can't see. He's walking around the ring acting like a zombie with his eyes painted and he's closing his eyes. The man cannot see anything. TNA says on commentary that TNA is going to be doing the theater gimmick again with Lockdown, which is basically TNA takes a pay-per-view and they release it in a select amount of theaters. Nobody watches these. UFC tried to do this, and UFC is pretty popular, and they couldn't get anybody to go to the theater to watch this. This is a waste of time and money. No one wants to go to the theater to watch a wrestling pay-per-view for 3 hours. Just not going to happen, TNA. Then they also announced that Motor City Machine Guns come back next week. So anyway, on to the match. Anderson has a black eye. I don't know from what. But Angle basically runs out, low blows Jeff Hardy behind the ref's back, throws him into the ring post, rolls him back in. Mr. Anderson hits the mic check, gets the win. Crowd was all for Hardy here, even though both guys are supposed to be faces. Didn't really make sense to put Mr. Anderson in here, but it is what it is. They show the Long Necks and Rednecks music video for James Storm. Why is TNA wasting money on music videos and airtime for this? This was ridiculous. And yes, it can help James Storm get over by showing clips of him, but then they showed a video package later. So this was all for this theme song, I guess, to try and sell on iTunes. I don't know why they're doing it. Eric Young and ODB are with a wedding planner. ODB gets mad at her for flirting with Eric. They decide to do the wedding in a steel cage before Lockdown. Eric Bischoff comes out. He says his contract allows him to get airtime whenever he wants it. He wanted Sting gone as general manager, he got it. He wanted Dixie to find someone worse than Sting, got it. The only thing he can't do is get rid of Garrett. Garrett comes out. Eric says he's going to give him one chance left to live a healthy life and move on, or he's going to get hurt. At Lockdown, he'll put him in a cage against Gunner. Garrett calls him a jackass, says he's not going anywhere, and the match doesn't scare him, says he will be there. Who cares about this? Who cares about Garrett Bischoff? They show a video package of James Storm training in his treehouse. Bully Ray, Bobby Roode versus Austin Aries and James Storm. At one point in this match, I noticed that Aries, it looked like Roode goes for a clothesline, but it doesn't connect, and then Aries sells it like it connected. I don't know what happened here. He just kind of falls over. But then Bully Ray comes in, and him and Aries kind of brawl a little bit. Probably setting up Bully versus Aries at Lockdown. Bully didn't make Austin Aries look like shit here, which was good. Rude grabs a beer bottle. He goes to spit it in Storm's face, but he ducks. He spits it in Bully's face. Bully gets hit with the last call super kick. Storm gets the win. Dixie comes out. She calls out Hulk Hogan. Dixie says it's a big decision for both of them, and she believes in Hogan. Hogan says he's closed the book on this part of his life, and then Sting comes out. He's got a bunch of wrestlers with him. Jeff Hardy, Garrett, Anderson, AJ Styles, Devon, Matt Morgan, James Storm. And Sting says Hogan won't deny all of them, and Hogan says, is this going to be a clean slate? And he says Impact is in really deep, and he needs to know if the Stinger will have his back, Jack. And Sting says yes, but will Hogan run the company? Hogan says yes, blah, blah, blah. They act like this is a big deal. I don't know, that was it. Wrestling wasn't very good on this show. The main event was pretty good, though, with the tag team match. That was pretty good. But yeah, a lot of talking. Most of it for no reason. They spent this entire show talking about Hulk Hogan, pretty much. And then the last thing they do, just like they did last week, where Hogan, is he going to say yes or no? And then it goes off the air. They spent the whole time talking about him in the main event, too. It's 2012, man. That's all you got to say. It's 2012, and you're Hulk Hogan. I mean, come on, you got a sex tape coming out, man. So, I don't know. I didn't care too much for this episode of Impact. But that's it. I hope you guys liked the review, though. And leave me some comments on what you thought about this episode of Impact. I'm going to be back tomorrow doing SmackDown and the Dragon Gate USA pay-per-view, which is definitely going to be better than this. And then I'm going to be doing the Ring of Honor pay-per-views for March 30th and 31st. And then, of course, WrestleMania Sunday. Got some movie reviews up this week, and I just posted my prediction shows for all these pay-per-views. So I got a bunch of stuff if you want to check it out, and that's pretty much it for this week. So thanks for watching. Bye.